And we are live in multiple places. We have some amazing, amazing people with me and an extra special new guest you may have not seen before, but you may have heard before. But for those out there, welcome to another episode of Friday Night Live Veterans Edition, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. I don't care how crazy your week was. We're here. That's what matters. You could be anywhere in the world that you could be, but you chose to spend some time with us. So, hello to Facebook world. Hello to the groups out there, our main page, YouTube, and Amazon Live, which is a new thing we're doing today as well. So thank you all for being there. In the description, you'll see that. I have Amy, I have Brian, and then we have a special, special guest with us. So we'll start with ladies first. Amy, introduce yourself.
So I am Amy. I am an Air Force veteran for 11 years. I do Friday Night Lives every week with Brian and DP. I'm actually traveling this week, but I jumped on and I just want you guys to know that I did bring my
Oh my goodness.
to Texas.
Oh, she traveled with
Yes,
it.
I traveled with it. Believe it or not, I did. I traveled with it. So just for this show.
Did you take did you bring batteries? That's the first question that
I,
people want to know.
So it is charged. It is charged, and this is what else I would tell you. So I went to the doctor again for the third time about this cough that I've had since November, or
Hmm.
yeah, pretty much November,
Which is why you're
December.
not singing, right?
Which is why I don't sing, Steven. So they give me a hard time, but as an artist, you would know and appreciate that when you're sick, like with bronchitis and pneumonia, that's just not the time to sing. So
No.
so I went to the doctor this week and I got another medication and I actually think it's working. So to you guys' surprise, it might be sooner than later.
Uh-oh. Over to
Yeah.
Brian.
I'm not sure where to go from there with that. But Brian, disabled Army vet, just hanging out here with the crew. Special welcome to Steven. Looking forward to hearing some of your good music and sharing that with the public out there. Just excited to have you here. Good to be here with DP and Amy as always, and special treat for you to be here. So appreciate it.
Yeah, and we have, well, DP here, disabled Army veteran, retired first responder. It's always weird because we have new guests that come on to see us and you don't remember, like, hey, people don't know who we are. So let's introduce ourselves again. But I'm blessed and thankful to have with us today Grammy nominated country singer, amazing human being, IG Live superstar, great, great American supporter of our troops. Airmen, Marines, Coasties, and everything around, even the Space Force, Steven Cade is in the building. What's going on, my
Hey,
brother?
you guys.
Yes.
You guys are too sweet, and thank you for having me on. Let me just first say it is a true honor to be able to be on this show with veterans and to be able to utilize my music and my talents to hopefully bring more awareness to all the different things that veterans need to be. You know, veterans are so special. And if you think about even the people that are active military, we cannot give enough praise and thanks and just raise enough awareness for all the things that are going on right now in our country and around the world. My grandfather served in World War II. He was a veteran for basically he was in the Army and this infantry called the Big Red One Infantry, the 71st Division. And my grandfather had some amazing stories, and from him I kind of lived vicariously through those stories while he was in Germany, and he basically walked across Europe, you know, with that infantry. But the whole thing is that I really feel like music can really keep bringing people back to going, hey, we need to honor the veterans. Hey, we need to honor the military. We also need to honor the people that are protecting us daily. You know, the first responders. We need to honor those folks. So not enough. Thank you for you guys from my behalf. So whatever I can do with this weapon right here,
Hey, hey, yo.
it's not with that weapon. I'm at your service now.
Stephen, so for those again, we'll share obviously where you can find Stephen and the amazing things that he has. Before we get there, you kind of got a chance, everyone here watching us, wherever you may be, whether live or on the replay, who we are. But we want to also take a second to bring up some of the folks that we have watching in the audience. So one of the things that we do is we make this interactive with the folks that are watching. So you may know this commenter right here. Eric Ranks in the audience saying, "What is up, Steven?" So shout out to you there. We
What's
have
up, Eric?
one of the best Marines I know. Crayons Ready to Eat co-founder and CEO Frank is in the house saying, "Howdy, y'all. Looking forward to the show. I promise not to crash the show tonight." Frank low crawled last week. I didn't know you could actually infiltrate digital land, but he found a way. He just wound up one day, and the same way you dialed in, guess what? Frank popped up and like a ninja, he just, came in here and gave us probably the show's first chocolate seduction session, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be that whole crayon section. Yep.
We got Elliot McKenzie in the
Elliot.
house. The R&B veteran is in the house saying it is Friday. We have a variety of folks here. Let's see. Lisa is in the house tuning in. Chaser, one of our amazing supporters as well that has come to the fold. Hey, y'all, happy Friday. We have Lisa in the background under the main page saying hello from Colorado Springs. Let's see. We got the man, the myth, the legend, the cook. You know him as Chef T. We know him as Brother Tyrell Morell. If you get hungry, he can turn it up real quickly in the kitchen and does amazing work with our veterans over at VACI. Let's see. Stephen, we got some requests coming already in. We have Terrell saying, "Amy, sing, Amy, sing."
Yes. Oh, I'm almost not quite ready yet, but almost.
We'll let you warm up a little bit. Maybe as as Stephen starts trying to play on the strings, maybe you might get inspired. We got Heath Urban in the house. Hey guys, cool session this week. We put a like a bat signal, and we said if you're into country music, you may want to tune in tonight because it's about to get a little cool, a little smooth, but not by me. Let's see. And as the comments keep going, feel free to jump on in. Let us know the branch of service you served and the times that you served. Stephen, we have with us here another amazing individual. You'll see here a picture coming up on the screen. This is Mr. Jerry Adams. If you see his page, if you see his face, you will say to yourself, it says here, "Thanks for being here with us, Navy, Vietnam, 66 to 79. And he says 214 verified because I literally said to him, "I do not believe you were in Vietnam in 66. You might have been in the Gulf War in the 90s, but that face does not look like a man who was in Vietnam." He sent us his 214. He is truly tapped into the fountain of youth. So this is one of our amazing individuals who served, again, in the 60s, naval warrior officer, coming at us from Greensboro, North Carolina. So I love the fact, Amy Bryan, that he made a point to say DD214 verified. That means, Stephen, that I literally said, I said, "Jerry, I don't believe we might have some stolen valor here. You got the wrong year." And he said, "I will send you my 214." And he's texted me a picture, and sure as heck, it's the dates are correct.
Oh my goodness!
So look at that face right there, man. I'm telling you, I'm looking like I'm related to him as a brother. I need to work on something. We have, let's see, Manuel is in the house, coming at us from Ohio, retired Army. What's up, Manuel? Let's see. Heath, veteran coach, disabled Army right now, working on myself. He's coming at us from Spokane, Washington, and South Carolina as much as he can.
Wow.
We got Jesse Melendez, my best friend of life of over 20 years. His better half, Jesse, is here. We acknowledge her, not him. After 20 years of friendship, you don't talk to people anymore. So we got rid of him and brought her over. So the wife is the best friend now. Speak of the devil. Here comes the best friend. If Amy sings, I will donate $100 worth of merchandise to a random viewer, but she has to sing a whole song. And we'll continue coming back to the comments throughout the evening.
I can't sing tonight when we have Steven Cade on. What is that going to do for him?
It's going to make him sound better.
That's well, I mean,
Could be. It could be. You never know. This could be the night that Amy gets picked up by Universal.
Hello.
I mean,
yeah.
There,
I mean,
there we go.
we
You
could
talk about
possibly do a duo.
you talk
Do
about
a
speaking
duet.
it into existence. Come on now. Real quickly, I'd be remiss to not jump in here and do a quick plug to say you can find Steven Cade at stevencade.com. It is the one-stop shop for all things Steven Cade, as far as his music, what he is doing, how to get in contact with him, his social platforms, and where to get him. I want to also jump real quickly here to a few songs that he has, so you'll be able to also find this on Amazon. So I'm actually going to bring this up because we're featuring also this stream in Amazon. So if you guys see the description, there's a link to our Amazon store. We're actually live in Amazon right now. And if you're watching in Amazon, you will see that I am actually highlighting this song to be able to get it there. So we have Pinky Promise, which I want to come back and ask you a little bit about it. We also have on his page League of Her Own. So we have that as well being featured on Steven Cade's catalog on Amazon. And then we're highlighting Two Less Lonely People. Tonight, I will venture to say there are 3 people who are not lonely because you're here, Steven. So I'm just going to put it out there. But Steven, real quickly, and I love how you started by being able to share your story, so I don't have to ask you kind of why you're here, in the sense of, your ties to the military, your family, and service, the Big Red One. Red Shirt came out. I heard you talk about it the other day, so I pulled it out just because of that, so that actually was intentional. But this song here, we played it last time. So for those that were here before, who remember, we played your song, and it was powerful. It was really touching. And there's something that I really want to be able to kind of ask you about, because I think it goes back to the point you said. And we'll come back again and highlight these points here in Amazon, but specifically to the power of music. And we talked about this on your live the other day. It's for many of our veterans, Stephen, what's going on is we may be dealing with issues. And a catchphrase I like to say is we may be disabled, but not unable. That said, for many individuals, whether veterans or not, who are dealing with mental health conditions, situations, life trauma, whatever it may be, what happens is a disconnect. And coming from my experience, speaking for Brian and Amy as well, it's hard to feel again. Because guess what, Steven? You can't hurt me. And again, for me, right, it happened in Iraq. For Brian, it happened here. For Amy, it happened there. But inside, it was just trauma. And that trauma made it to where the person that left, right? You and me, Steven, we're buddies, but I left and I didn't come back the same. And a lot of those emotions were repressed and put away because you can't hurt what you can't see, right? You see camouflage, I'm talking emotional camouflage. And I think the power of music to feel, to be able to go beyond what words can do, is the power of why we have been focusing on bringing artists in, because you may be able to articulate something. And I want to kind of tie this to the song Pinky Promise, because many parents deployed, but didn't come back the same. And a lot of those promises of like, Steven, I'm going to do it right. You know what I mean? When I have my little girl, when I have my little son, I'm going to be the man that, wasn't there for me, or fill in the blank, and service comes and maybe you kind of, can't do that anymore. So I think there's a power to music to begin to kind of open up a little bit, which is what we've noticed. Many veterans kind of, when we played your music, were saying things like it was powerful, it was therapeutic, they began to feel things. And I really want to focus on just the feeling part, because you know them, we know them. There's a Vietnam veteran that you may know, a Korean War veteran you may know, or an Iraqi War veteran you may know, who just doesn't want to feel a lot of things because of the pain. And if they say something like, Steven, I heard your music and it just touched me, that's a feeling. And for many, that's a feeling that they may have not felt in 5, 20, 30, 40 years. So I really wanted to just kind of give that context to kind of present from our perspective, being able to talk about mental health, breaking stigmas, how we feel, how I feel, what your music does when I've heard it first, feeling those feelings, hearing the words. Talk to me a little bit about Pinky Promise, because again, that's the one we played just at least to start. what was kind of the motivations behind it? And have you heard anything? What has been some of the feedback that you've received of those that have been able to be blessed by your music?
Mm. So I think one of the greatest, if not the greatest thing I'll ever do on this planet is raise two kids. When I'm done raising them after they're 18 years old, I will be there for them. I will pick up the phone when they call. I'll open my door when they come home, and I'll welcome them in just like a father would, no matter what happens. And I think that it's passing down a love and a kindness and respect and integrity and honor into your kids. And I think as parents, we want to do the best that we can. Just like you said, you put it so well. We want to be the super parent. We want to rip our chest open and say, look, I'm super dad, I'm super mom, I don't mess up. And COVID-19 hit everybody really hard, especially musicians. And quite honestly, my family and we took a real financial hit, and still have been recovering from that. And I was really busy working on the computer trying to get gigs. My daughter would come up and say, hey, Daddy, can you come out? Can you come play, Tripoli with me, or Monopoly, or ride bikes, or Barbie? Can you play Barbies with me? And when your 9-year-old daughter taps you on the shoulder, it's like you want to just drop everything for them at that moment. But you can't, because you got to earn a living, and you got to put food on the table. And so I would say, I can't right now, but I can later. Can we hang out later? She said, well, yeah. Do you pinky promise that you will? And so when she says pinky promise, I mean, she's saying it so innocently. She's not trying to, use any manipulation. She just wants to be with her dad. You know what I mean? And so I said, I can't. And she's, well, I said, I can later. I pinky promise. She's like, well, you can't break a pinky promise. And so I thought, man, that is such an awesome title for a song and a theme for a song. Parents need to be reminded that we only get one chance to do this, right? And it's not like we have to put this extra pressure on ourselves, but at the same time, I feel like, look, we gotta really try to, model out what it is to be a great parent as much as we can. So that's what this song is. It's just a good reminder of, like, slow down for a minute. And you guys are overachievers, the go-getters. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I feel like I'm one of those type of people. I want to just do it all, right? I want to make everything happen yesterday. And it's like, at what cost? At what cost? What do you want to lose those precious moments of going to your daughter's gym, when she goes and does gymnastics, or when she's taken a cotillion class, or if she's for Valentine's Day, and you have the little Valentine snacks, and they're in there with them. I mean, you'll have those memories, are core memories that you will always take with you. In the end, those are the things you're going to remember.
Yes.
You won't remember making that $100,000. You're not going to remember that. And not 100,000. Hey, that's wonderful. Hey, ching ching, great, hurrah hurrah. But at the end of the day, you're not going to care about that, because you know why? I've never seen a hearse pulling a U-Haul.
Hey, hello. Hey, Steven, I think you may have broken up. Can you say it louder for the people in the back in case they missed that one? Say it one more time.
I said, you don't ever see a hearse pulling a U-Haul, okay? And there is no credit cards, platinum cards in heaven. The currency of heaven is faith and prayer. And you gotta be praying as a parent and acknowledging your family. I really believe that when we go, and I'm a believer, number one, so I should not impose on anybody's beliefs, but I'll tell you, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. And I feel like when I get to heaven, God is not going to, I'm going to say, God, I performed all these miracles. I spoke in tongues. I went to church. I tithed. I got on my knees. I praised the Lord. I sang your name. I sang your praises. He's going to say, Steven, how did you treat your wife? Let's talk about your wife for a little while.
Mm.
Yeah.
How did you treat your children? The gifts I gave you. I gave you a wife and 2 kids. How did that go?
Wow.
I'm just saying, this is
Mm-hmm.
real for me in my heart, what he's going to say. It's great to have all those other accolades and the trophies and the awards and the everything that you get. And since we were kids, we were getting trophies for playing baseball or whatever we did.
Yeah.
It was such a momentum. It was like one of those things we put on our shelf and go, yeah, I did that. I accomplished that. And that's great to have goals. But man, it's always like pinky promise to me. I see people bawling in the audience. I see dads just like realizing, wow. And I've had parents come up to me and say, thank you for reminding me I need to spend more time with my kids. Thank you. I just ran upstairs and gave my daughter a hug while she was, asleep. Just things like that. That's what music can do. It can remind us to just chill out, man.
Yeah.
But
I think that's powerful, Stephen, because it goes to that same point of what's happening there. And I think that the message you're saying, right? Again, like Stephen said, full disclaimer to everyone, whatever your belief system may be, right now, it's ultimately about, no matter, where you're coming from or what you may hold dear, treating your fellow man in a certain way or woman, the way you would treat, yourself, right? Treat others in that golden rule, which is universal, which is that currency, that love, right? Being able to really kind of go someplace. And I think the powerful part also, to your point, is it doesn't matter, right? If sometimes, I'll take a venture, if some time has passed, maybe that pinky promise may have lapsed 5 or 10 years, but there's never, if you have the ability to have that conversation, you can work through things. And I think for us, Stephen, I would say that's what's powerful, back to the mental health pieces, the best days are not behind us. We sometimes live like that. But the fact is, if I have the ability today to sit with you, Stephen, today's a good day. And if tomorrow we can plan for something, there's hope for tomorrow. And I think that's reshifting, because it's that confirmation bias of, you're going to find what you want to look at. If I want to see negativity in the world, I'll find it. If I want to see hatred in the world, I'll find it. But if I want to find love, if I want to find beauty, if I want to find, amazing, beautiful things and beautiful people, it's looking for it. Like everybody here, for example, think about it. If everyone here bought a red Mustang, you would see red Mustangs everywhere. Why? Because you're now focused on that. It's an actual thing. So now you're looking for it. And to your point, Stephen, we can really harness that to even say, hey, if you find opportunities to be able to maybe amend some of those relationships, to remember those pinky promises, to your point, Stephen and Brian, you'll recall this. But one thing I always share with folks is, if you look at history and things like that, it's like, remember, right? You see that in scripture a lot. Remember the promises you made. Remember this, remember that. And I think that goes back to us even remembering, what was it that I said I was going to do? To Stephen's point, I got the $100,000 job. I got the job that paid good. I got the opportunity to do stuff, but remember what you said you were going to do when you got this. Right? If I can only get this, I'll do that. Stephen, if I can only get that record deal, you don't understand. I'm going to do something. Did you do it? Hello.
It's so true. And I've been blessed to have met so many different people in my life, because I've been playing music for a long time now. And I've met all walks of life. I mean, I've met people who are transients on the streets that have tipped me their last dollar while I was playing, by the way. I mean, and there's other people they drive up in Maseratis and they won't tip anything. So see, it's all perspective for people in terms of, giving back. Somebody who doesn't have anything will give. But I think that at the end of my life, I want to make sure that I gave to my Lord, number one, gave to family, number two, and then gave to my career, which will overflow.
Yes.
And that my latter days, you said something, will be better than my former. So what you said earlier is a scripture. I love that. Latter days better than the former days. And so that's how I live. I live, in terms of these songs that I'm writing now. They're intentional. I believe they're mission songs and they're movement songs. I don't want to just create, and
Yes.
no offense, and I don't like to, I say this with all due respect to people. I'm not looking to create wine, whiskey, short skirt, tan legs, tailgate songs.
Hello.
And hey, go make 5 million doing it. Great. I don't cast judgment. This is who I am. This is what I write,
Hmm.
and that's just that. So,
And that's the
but
power of, and that's the power of music too, though, right? It's understanding that there really is, a genre, a moment for everything you may be needing. Because the reality is sometimes you may want to have that contemplative moment of just kind of sitting, and sometimes you need something to fire you up. Sometimes you need a gym banger to kind of get in there and do something. And those are all things, but I think to your point, how does it feel, I guess, is one of the questions I would ask you here. And then I want to ask if you would, we have some comments. We got Roger in the house, Coast Guard 81, 74 to 81, and 84 to 92, saying he's with you. He's also a believer as well. I believe Pinky Promise says Lisa is always pulling at her heartstrings. Lisa also made a point to say, I love this conversation, but I have to point out that that is an amazing new hat. It is available at veteransnetwork.club. Just saying. um, but I want to ask you, how does it feel for you as an artist? The Marine rapper said something one time, which is he wants his lyrics to be able to be printed out and literally be hung up on a museum one day as poetry, as art, even after he passes. As an artist, can you talk to me about how does it feel knowing that the day will come where you'll see meet your maker, you won't be around, but your music will continue? How does that feel knowing the impact of what your music has to be able to be a vessel of creation using music, knowing that even in 30, 50, 70 years, this concept, these messages, to your point, again, no hate on someone else, but this is an enduring message that carries on. When you look at why Bob Marley's music is still current today, he went somewhere. And one thing I'll tell you, Stephen, I haven't told you before, and people will see it tonight, the passion that you sing with, it's one of those things that I've always said this. I was in performing arts and had a background, was in that space, and have many artist friends. And it's something about seeing someone in a zone. I'm a big Bob Marley fan, but when you see images of Bob Marley on stage and he's just in that vibe, he's in that moment. When you're in your music and you're playing your guitar and you just zone out, you're not here. And people will notice that, like, you're gone. And I've seen you on live, I've seen your videos, especially when you're singing, and people are looking at you, and it's just like, I want people to know right now, I'm giving you the cheat code. When Steven is in his zone, he won't be here with us. You go somewhere. And can you talk to me about that? Because from the audience side, not being a creator of music, I can see that. I can see when you're in your zone and you're just there, and you can see in other artists when they're in that sweet spot, in that zone of power, of creation, that beauty. Talk to me, two questions. How does it feel knowing that your music will continue past your days? And talk to me about that zone when you're in there and you just close your eyes and you're just, singing to the Lord, singing to your audience. You're in that space. Talk to us a little bit about that, please.
Well, to joke a little bit, after I'm gone, they only have 70 years to make sure and reclaim that music, because after that it becomes public domain.
Public domain.
So,
put it in the trust. Let the estate follow it.
Right. Exactly. But in all seriousness, that is come on, it's of the highest honor that to think, hopefully the world's still spinning, and but if it isn't, then it's a very honorable thing. What's interesting is, as an artist, I don't focus that much on what my music will. I know that there's that saying in my head saying, hey, your music will go on beyond when you're gone. It can live beyond you. But I'm more focused in the now and today than I am focused so far in the future.
Yeah.
Because we don't even know when it is the Lord's going to come. I mean, all kind of things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Apostasy, all kind of stuff is happening these days, and so it could be quick. Church could go up like we could be here and there'd be 4 empty spaces if everybody's a believer here anyway. So, but honestly, it's like one of those things. I feel like with that, it's an honor to think that, number one. And then the second thing with, I guess, just being in the zone, it's just a blessing to be able to go there. You know, and I guess it's a thing where, as an artist or any type of performer, or even if you're, I mean, I can imagine, I just try to think about a sniper for a second, and I can't imagine how still they got to get in their mind and in their heart and their breathing and everything before they pull the trigger. That's probably their zone. You know what I mean? Everybody's got a zone. A brain surgeon has to have a zone when he's operating on a brain. A pilot when he's landing a plane. I mean, there's a lot of different zones. A musician is another example, but there are points in my music where it's a protection. I think it's a protection from me and the listener, because I've just got to be, you know, lyrics are happening, chords are happening, melodies are happening. All these things are kind of happening in one moment. And so that it's just kind of it's, you know, it's part of being just performing, you know, but it's a blessing to do it.
Yes. No, and I thank you for that, because again, you know, when folks see artists, right, you want to ask a question. I always see it like when we have an opportunity like this, it's being able to tap into that. But I love what you said, which is, for everyone out there watching this, you have the ability to tap into your zone. Yeah. Whatever it may be. And I love the fact, because it's I would have added that, but you said it perfectly. Whatever you're doing, if you find your passion, even if it's not your full-time gig, but it's your side thing, you have a regular 9 to 5, but after work you do that thing that just brings fire to your belly and brings you alive, tap into that and hold on to that, because I'll tell you, it'll fire you through and it will do amazing things for your life. Steven, you know, I'm talking about all this stuff and people are looking at me and they're saying, man, there's like a little itch out there. Someone might want to hear a little something. I don't know if Amy wants to start it off or something, but, you know, we might give our viewers a treat. Usually we'll bring up a YouTube, but, you know, you showed us your weapon of choice over there, that guitar. I don't know if you can maybe string a diddly up a little bit and, you know, show people that this is not auto-tune. This is real life and in charge.
Oh man, are you kidding me? You never have to ask twice about that. I'll just pick this one up to here, and I could tell you, I'll play you. I don't think I have to play a certain song. Can I play anything for you guys?
Yes.
Is that cool?
Whatever you want.
This is a song that my daughter, she's such a little artist herself. She says, "Daddy, can you write a song called Cotton Candy?" And I was like, Cotton Candy, that's an excellent title for a song. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, all right, let me see what I can do. So I sat down and I'll play you a verse and a chorus of this so you just get the vibe of this one. But this is Cotton Candy. It was a technicolored moment on a blue Pacific Ocean. You were a bit of honey giving me a smile. You had glitter gloss on your lips, raspberry cloud on a paper stick. Couldn't say no when you offered me a try. Yeah, it tasted better than heaven, I won't lie. It was a sunset kiss on Santa Catalina, sweetest summer freedom. We were California dreaming, you and me. Sugar-coated August nights, spinach sparkling, held you tight underneath the pink moonlight. We were melting, you were gone as soon as you had me, just like cotton candy.
Man,
that was awesome.
There's not much more. I'll give you an electronic one too.
That's tight. I need one of those when I go on stage.
No, you don't need those, man. You get the real deal from the crowd. Heath here brought up something and said, Steven, we have vets many times struggling in life. There are times when he or she is ready to quit in so many ways. We know what that means. Can you speak of a time where things were hard and maybe you wanted to quit, but you didn't?
Oh man, how about every day? I mean, not in a bad way though. Not in a bad way. I mean, I'll say this. This is going to be, I think the hardest job in the world is being a soldier. Okay. Number one. Number two, probably a doctor or a priest or a pastor. They're up there in the top 5. Nurse, first responders. But you can never tell me that an attorney has a hard job. I'm sorry. You'll never be able to convince me of that. But I believe that musicians are up there in the top 5. The ones that are pursuing it as a career. The ones who are really making a living doing it. And they didn't have a dad who left them a trust fund of 10 million. They didn't have a .com boom in 1999 where they invested in Google. They just worked and worked and worked and worked and worked until they broke through that threshold, until they broke through the barrier of entry. We would call it a barrier of entry. And to get to that point is a battle. It is a battle every day. So, not anywhere near. I couldn't imagine landing in the middle of a desert with 1,000 people who know how to operate all kind of machinery and weaponry, and you got to go fight an enemy. That's a whole, like I said, that's number one. That's number one. But I would say number one that gets me through when my mind starts to go there is there's 2 things I do. Number one, I think of people who have it worse than I do. There's somebody within 50 feet of me or 100 feet that has it someone worse than I do right now. They may be blind, they might be deaf, they might have one leg, they may not have $1 to their name. I mean, they may have had all kind of things that have come at them that are way more intense than what I've been through. So I get perspective. The next thing I do is I go straight to the scripture. And I mean, I could say, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Lord shall rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say the Lord is my refuge, my strength, my God. No weapon formed against me will prosper. I mean, I just start thinking scriptures as fast as my brain can think them, and that's why I spend a lot of time memorizing the word and repetition. That is so key in having because as a man thinketh, so is he. So whatever you're thinking, it's hard to you can't, it's like hard to erase it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's that. But if you inject the word of, and for me, inject the word of God and really bring in people, surround yourself, like you said earlier, with people who are full of joy, who are full of hope, who are full of laughter and good positive attitudes that will support you. Like Eric Ranks on here, he's just been such a supporter lately for me, and I can't say thank you enough. I mean, now I'm going to get to work with him on that May 14th show for the veterans. But it's people like that, and that's the last thing I will say is the greatest among you is the servant who is the servant who serves others. There's a scripture I'm talking about, but it talks about, in a sense, whoever is going to serve you is the greatest among those. So let's serve other people. When we're serving, that will start taking our own needs, and we'll start thinking about other things. It's like a father. I mean, I'm sure you guys are parents or whatnot, but I mean, you start thinking about, I got to do this for my kid and do this. You start forgetting about what you need. It's about what they need. You know what I mean? So I would say there's Caleb. But yeah, I would say definitely focus on others because they need it, and focus on Jesus because you need him, and then obviously keep those thoughts as pure as possible, man, because it's war. It's war for everybody right now. It's a pandemic. There's a lot of casualties that have been left, and I've heard this so many times. People are committing suicide. People are charging after our police officers. I mean, they're saying that our police officers are killing people just because they want to kill people. I mean, this is crazy. Right. You're like, I've never seen anything like this.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
and I come from Houston, Texas, from old school, where people honored our neighbors, we honored our parents, our teachers. We just had it was a different honor system. And you guys
Mm-hmm.
understand that being in the military, you
Mm-hmm.
can't go up to your superior and sort of like say how you feel that day
Yeah.
in so many words. You know?
But that Stephen, it's a great point because that's what this is. This is what's happening here right now. When you think about it, especially in our hyper connective world, right? There was a time where you just turned on the evening news and that told you what was going on. But right now, guess what? 24/7, this thing is going off and it's information overload. And
Woo.
arguably, think about it, right? We always talk about the phone is listening, right? If I Google Steven Cade, my entire feed gets filled with Steven Cade this and country music
Yeah.
that, and I'm stuck in the algorithm of country music.
Right.
That said, anything you start to ingest, these machines and algorithms are made to continue to give you what you want and are looking for. And I'm saying that because from a marketing perspective, if I'm into country music, my phone is going to start geotagging things and looking at caches of country music and offering
Wow.
me things because it's a marketing ploy. It wants me to stay on the app. That's what it is. However, to your point, if I am ingesting negativity, the police are doing this, marching on that, all of that type of narrative, guess what's going to be in my feed? More, more, more.
Yeah.
This outlet, that's outlet. And I think for us to even hold this space, what we want to do is try to disrupt that pattern and say, hey, it's Friday night. The reason we do these live is because there's a veteran right there out there right now who may be live or on replay, and you may not have someone to spend time with. And the fact of the matter is, we want to see you here. That's why we bring up your comments and make this an interactive conversation, because for many veterans, especially those dealing with pain or civilians as well that we have following us, it's in the still of the night, like they say, where your empty mind is the devil's playground. To your point, if you're not filling it with something positive, all those negative thoughts, that narrative that you're painting of yourself gets louder at night for many of us. So being able to kind of come here tonight, have a good time, we'll talk to each other, we'll spare some music. It's about trying to at least, reclaim back some digital real estate on the internet and say, hey, let's do something positive. Let's send out love. Let's actually do something and hold space. And part of us saying that resounds with people, but this is the call to action too. If this is resounding with you, we have to support it. So this is not, hey, like this and share it. No, if it resounds with you and there's someone that you know that can benefit from this, share the video. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, like the YouTube channel. No, the only way we can reach more to begin to change the narrative is to have these conversations, but we need the community to help us. The reason I brought up Steven's page is because, to his point, the hardest thing as an artist is to be out there. We have many independent artists. We've talked about this. You don't have the big record label behind you. So guess what? If the community doesn't get behind this, guess what happens? How do you then survive? If you love Steven Cade's music, go to his website and buy the music. Yes, you can YouTube it, but support in more than action and likes. Yes, like his YouTube channel, Steven Cade. Yes, go to his website and subscribe. But then take your action and download that song. If you like Pinky Promise, go to Amazon, go to iTunes, go wherever you go. But those actions are what's going to make the difference in giving people like Steven and TMR and Elliot and all the other artists that we've been talking to the ability to stay in that zone, to make that beautiful music and not have to go and say, hey guys, I want to put out an album, but I got to get to the 9 to 5. Because the fact of the matter is, you have to also be realistic that we like and we share, but we have to do a third. Like this, share this, invite someone, but also activate your wallet and get a daggone download going. Because that's the reality. And it's not pandering, but it's being realistic to when we ask the question, like you said, how is it being an artist? And many have told us it's hard because of the fact that if you're independent and you're out there doing it your own way, it's great because you can write the music you want. you can go where you want to go, but you don't have big record behind you dictating and giving this. So we have to be realistic about that. And I just want to be able to encourage folks and be able to say that in support of what you're doing, Steven, with your music, because it has to be said, and I'm guilty of this. And Brian, maybe, I'll give it to Brian and Amy here in a second, but I'm guilty of just saying, hey, Steven, I like your page, thumbs up. And that's all she wrote. I saw the YouTube, I'm gone. No, let me go out there and buy the album. Let me go ahead and contribute, because I'm gonna buy a latte anyway. And for the price of a Starbucks, I could buy a few downloaded tracks. Brian, over to you, Brian. Your thoughts?
He knows I'm guilty with the Starbucks. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, DP's spot on, right? I mean, it's so easy for us to just say, I'll click the thumbs up. I'm one of the most awkwardly social people, particularly when it comes to the social media. When you grow up in an age where internet doesn't exist, and then, whenever I come out back to the world, the internet still doesn't exist, but, now you have BBS systems, and you get to a point where you just tend to isolate. You tend to just live in your head, right? And so it's great. I'll be happy to talk to you, but once that conversation ends, the blinds go down, virtually speaking, mentally speaking, and you just don't engage. And the thing I love about your approach there, Steven, and this is because I'm a man of faith as well. It's the only reason I'm still here walking around, able to join you guys tonight, is because of that hope for eternity.
Wow.
Seeing you driven by your character, by your moral values, and not that surface level, what can I do to maximize my return? And I'm sure we've all been guilty of that at some point in time, but obviously you can tell from the work that you put out that that's not how you live the majority of your life. And I think that people can resonate with that. And it just comes through in the quality of the music that comes out. So, yeah, I mean, it's time to, DP's, as we might say sometimes after a Sunday sermon, you're convicting me. Well, DP's convicting me about do more than buy my latte and click the thumbs up. So,
well, thank you, Brian. And I will add one more thing to the veterans that are listening in the audience. There's something that I have been putting into practice as of about 4 or 5 months ago that I have never done. Now, it's so interesting, and maybe you guys, you've heard of the sanctification process, when they talk about how we get closer to God as we become born again, or you find Jesus and you're like, okay, yay, I'm all about Jesus. And then you start really getting into the details, like into the Word of God, and you start seeing your, some of the things that you're not doing, really living right correctly, if that makes sense, right? And it's actually exposed even more so, right? And so what I've done in the last probably year and a half, I've started off before I even take the first thing out of my mouth is thank you, Lord Jesus. That's the first thing out of my vocal cords. It's not good morning to my wife. It's not yeehaw. It's nothing like that. It's like, thank you, Lord. And then from there, I start to keep thanking him. Mm-hmm. I just keep thanking him. And then before my feet touch the ground, I say, Lord, order my steps today. Let your will be done, not mine. And even before I do that, I have a prayer list that I have on my phone of people who have said, hey, Steven, I need some prayer. I don't, this is happening in my life. This is happening. And it used to be like, they would say that and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you. And now I get convicted. And when somebody says, hey, Steven, I'm going through this right now. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to put you on the prayer list. And so I got a prayer list, and, I'm praying for the same people sometimes, for 4 weeks now, every day. But I feel like that's something that the Lord has called me to do in the morning. And it's honestly like today I got up and I'm like, oh man, I got to pray for people today. I mean, I was like, I want to get up and I want to get to the day. I got things I got to do today, but I just said, no, I got to relax right here for a minute. If it's going to take me 10 minutes, I got to do this, 15, whatever it is. And so just something that somebody, may want to practice. Maybe you guys are already doing that. Maybe you've been doing it since you were a kid, which, wow, that's pretty amazing. And there are people that have, and they're, blessed are those who bless others. So there you go. And, but yeah, man, that's something to hopefully take away.
Yeah, I love that, because here you got Roger also, who's in agreement with you, specifically saying, I use thank you, Lord, for this new day. When he starts the day up, you see the comment here coming up. And one of the things I think is really, you see parallels, even for those out there who may not be of the faith, you may understand this to be waking up and taking your meditation time, taking gratitude.
Sure.
Taking moments to do things. And really, when you start to look at it, really, it's taking that time to, before you kind of get on the phone and do all the, information overload of the day, especially with all the things you have going on, you're practicing mindfulness. And again, it doesn't matter how you look at it, but the point is, to your point, tap into that source, tap into that creative power, whatever your belief system is, to be able to, before you do anything else, because trust me, there's a lot we could do and jump right into it. You have how many emails and how many fires to put out and how many things to deal with, but to take that moment of reflection, of gratitude, of being able to meditate, pray, or give gratitude, whatever it is your routine may be. I think there's a power in that, and to be able to hear that from you again, I think it just gives us an insight, right, as to how you're able to navigate through it. Because especially being a creative, how do you stay in that zone? And that's something that's very powerful too.
You got to be in tune. I think that's a good word, right? You got to be in tune with what God, and I'm feeling it right now. It's interesting, because even this morning, like when I looked at my phone, I'm on LinkedIn. I don't know if you guys are on LinkedIn, but I get on the LinkedIn app, and in my feed came Congressman Crenshaw from Texas. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. He is he's a former military gentleman who lost his eye.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about? Well,
former Navy SEAL. Yeah.
Former Navy SEAL. He came up and it said that he's going to be down because his other eye, his retina is detached now. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be, but the bottom line is, God showed me that, and I think about it. I'm like, why did I see that right there? You know what I mean? There's something, and he even asked, pray for me, if you will, and it's like, you got to be in tune with things, even if it's on social media. I mean, if it's your next door neighbor, if it's somebody in the gas station, if it's somebody waiting in line to get something, I mean, you got to you just have to be ready. I think that's the whole, you got to be ready, and, but yet we also got to live. We all got to make a living. We all got to, do our things, which is great. And, but God will make time for all of it. He does. He makes somehow the 24 hours in the day, they don't seem like enough, but they're enough. They're enough. He figured it out. So,
no, I agree with that. I was gonna say, Amy, what are your thoughts on your side? She's actually right now traveling, like we said before we started. She's in the great state of Texas at the moment.
Yeah.
So she came down from the heights of Colorado, and now she is in the big country over there. So tell us a little bit about your thoughts on your side, Amy. And on top of that, is your microphone charged? Because
my microphone is just fine. So
there's a battery.
Brian holding on to my battery for my microphone.
I'm always ready with the spare if you need it.
Yeah, Brian is my wingman. He's always looking out for me.
There you go,
I will
Brian.
say that it's they're having my friend's daughter is having a quinceañera, and so it's very busy here. So excuse the noise, but it's very loud. There's a lot of people here.
Wow.
So
It's just a small gathering. About half the state is in the house. That's all.
Yeah. So I didn't know anything about it until I actually started working with her for last year, and she started telling me about it, and I used to give her so much crap about it because I'm like, who does that? Who does a party like
it's
that?
It's a big deal. That big
15-year-old?
15.
No,
it's a big deal.
You know, like that's like a wedding. You know, like it's bigger than a wedding. I saw her dress today hung up, and I'm like, that's her dress. So.
But see, I can identify, Amy. Mm-hmm. I can identify because when I turned 12, I got a shotgun, so it's kind of like the same thing. Coming of age.
Same thing.
That's cool.
So it's been a year in the making, and I'm terrified of flying. I have really bad anxiety, and I made it. And so it's happening tomorrow. We went today, and we looked at the hall, and I just could not believe it. I've never seen anything like it, and I just keep looking at it and thinking,
Steven, it goes back to your point. Is everything is bigger in Texas? Is that what's going on? You're gonna have a regular hall? It's just like a matter of fact. Al, one of our brothers here, he's saying us. He says us Mexicans, we do it big, and then you're in Texas.
Wow.
I couldn't even. Yeah, it's unbelievable, and my hair is also bigger in Texas because the humidity. And,
you have the same humidity in Colorado. What are you talking about?
No, not even a little bit.
It's virtually the same climate. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a big deal. So I've never even had my hair done or makeup done professionally. So that's happening tomorrow too.
Oh, it's a whole thing. It's a whole production.
Whole thing. I cannot believe it. It's a whole thing. I just cannot believe. I was telling the guys earlier before we got on, like, it's a floating cake. Like the cake where it's at is this beautiful little decorative area, and you can't see the strings, but the cake is floating. The hall is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. So I was trying to get my boyfriend to marry me on the same day so we didn't have to pay for a wedding. But he's like, I've only known you for four months, so or 5 months, whatever.
Crawl away, Josh. Crawl away, Josh. Crawl away.
So the joke is that when she told me about this quinceañera a year ago, I used to tell her all the time, I'm like, I need to find somebody to marry me. So that
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah, so I could just celebrate. I mean, I'm fine with it being all her friends too. But so I don't have to pay for
my question to you, Amy, is but Josh behind you looked like he was crawling away from you, not towards you.
Yes,
what just happened there? For those that missed it, there was a blip on the screen, and he looked like he was trying to run away. I may have seen a chain. He's
actually now left the house. So
Josh, shout once if you're safe. Shout twice if you're captive. Give us a signal.
I halfway said it because he was in here, but I used to tell Neali, I was like, who spends this kind of money on a quinceañera?
Well, the answers are in the comment. First of all, Al said that's what they do.
Apparently everybody knew about this but me. So I told her I'm going to find somebody to marry so that we could just knock two birds out in one stone.
Yeah.
How's that working out for you so far?
It's not going to work out. It's just
Josh ran away.
Josh, yes, he's gone.
You still have a few more hours to go.
We're gonna believe that this can happen.
He's left.
Oh, yeah. So D Wade, if you see here on the screen, says everything is bigger in Texas.
Yeah.
Roger, he said you might need Brian's shotgun if that's what's going on here. Lisa said no on that humidity business in the Centennial State.
Yes.
Jay said he loves the hair. Lisa Chaser is in the agreement that everything is bigger in Texas. So
Yeah.
there's that part there.
Yes.
And then, like I said earlier, Al said that us Mexicans do it big. So, you have a whole
Yes.
consortium of things going on there.
If it wasn't for protecting her privacy, I would totally try to show you all.
No, don't do that because we might just lose the whole feed right now. Steven, you know Caleb Rosales. He's in the audience. He says hello. He's been commenting as well. He said Josh may need to pop smoke. At this point, let's see. Lisa said, "I love this." We got the Marine HG, aka Hiram, saying Sweet 16 is an even bigger deal. Arguably, they're hand in hand. The quinceañera, the Sweet 16, it's a whole thing.
I've never seen anything like this. This is bigger than any.
Well, I'm not. A good question came up. Sam said, "How do you social distance in a party like that?" Well, when the party hall is like on a 50-acre hall,
Right.
200 people are separated by 6 feet anyway.
Yes. No, I'm
Imagine
excited.
the
It's gonna be big. It was a big deal for me to come here because like I said, I hate to fly and.
But you made it.
But I made it, and it's crazy. I was telling her the other day. I was like, I can't believe it's actually here. Like, and you guys know because she's on the team, so you guys have heard her talk about this the whole year, and so now it's like, wow, this is really about to happen.
I don't want to bring this comment up, but I'm going to because Steven will be here for a little bit longer. We're not going to hold him hostage because that's against the law. But I will say, Steven, there's a certain point during the show, as with most veterans, we call it Friday Night Live After Dark. AKA, there's a point where we start to lose control. You may be feeling it a little bit. Like, it's like we're going good, and then all of a sudden now we're derailing a little bit. That's by design. It's, we like to, like F-16s. We do some turns. It's all under control. Sam says, even apples are bigger in Texas. I regret bringing this up, but I brought it up because this is part of an ongoing argument that happens every Friday. The Apple talk here is about the phone. Our audience is divided. We have iPhone users and Android users. I'm trying to be very, PC towards the Android. We're 90% iPhone, 10% Android. So that's what's going on in the comment section. So if you look at YouTube right now, there's a whole conversation of apples going on. So if you're wondering, no one is trying, Steven, to actually give you apples or trying to do like a teacher's pet thing. But if you see comments like this from Sam, it's specifically not about red apples that we're talking about or the delicious ones. It's an iPhone, Samsung thing. I don't want to ask Steven what phone he has because I don't want to suck him into this debacle. But
so Eric already put in there. Steven is 100% iPhone.
Oh no! Look, Steven, Eric is dragging you into a fist fight that you had no business doing.
Steven may not want to have isolated or part of his audience out there. So thanks, Eric.
Right.
You know what, Amy? Did you say you were in the Air Force?
I was, yes.
And you don't like to fly?
No.
Steven, there's a few things we should have probably prepped you. Brian, do me a favor and add this to the list of things. So, Steven, one, you are correct. The Air Force lady does not like to fly. Two, the Air Force lady never ate an MRE until a few weeks ago here live on the show. There's a few things that Amy has not done and has found a way to camouflage herself. So we have to kind of give a disclaimer out for that there, I guess, just to kind of be on the safe side.
Well, the good news is, Amy, that you did get on a plane and you
did
fly, and that's a good thing.
Yes. I am very thankful to my boyfriend because he was very supportive through the whole thing. I was super scared. And I made it, though. I made it.
You took some great pictures.
I probably would not have done it if I didn't have him to go with me.
Okay,
I probably would not have done it. Yes, I probably would not have done it.
But you made it.
But Nayeli knew that. She knew. And she knew that even with or without Josh, that I may or may not have got on the plane because I have canceled on friends on 3 different occasions. I've not got on the plane. I've turned around. Yeah, so I'm terrified of flying.
I'll be honest with you. I don't really like to fly either, just to be, but I do because I have to.
You have
I mean,
to.
that's what
Yes.
I do. I mean, I fly
Yes.
back and forth to places, but it's not like I really look forward to it, if that makes any.
Right.
Some
Right.
people love to fly. Some people are like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I can't wait to get, and I'm like, nah. I'm like, oh, is
Aw.
that
There you go. Just the proof. That is in an aircraft. For those that may be
Wow.
wondering, they're in the
Oh my
aircraft.
God.
They are, for the question of social distancing, the masks are on. They're in the aircraft,
Nice.
making sure that everything's on the up and up. You look,
That is
Right.
not social distancing.
Amy looks so happy to be on flight. What are you talking about? Look, she looks like she's right at
Those are happy
home.
eyes.
Thanks to him.
Those are happy
Yeah.
eyes.
I will say this though, if we zoom in for a second, her left eye is saying I'm happy. The right eye is saying help me, baby, sweet Jesus.
Oh man, that is classic.
Just just putting it out there. But
Yeah.
but she did make that, and again, and that goes, kind of tongue in cheek, but I think it also goes to the fact of, it is hard for Amy to fly, to get an aircraft. She does have her anxiety, she does have her phobia, but
Yep.
the serious point to take away from that is that, facing challenges, pushing through, right? And that's one of those things of like, we
Totally.
make joke of things, but there are many veterans out there. They're like, I'm not doing it for no one, and Amy could have well been
Right.
that person. But the fact of
Right.
the matter is, it's every day, and we've talked about this, Stephen, a lot. So everything we do here is always kind of bringing it back to the mental health side, because for a veteran out there today, you have some folks that, especially with social distancing, have not left their house in a long time.
Yep.
And for
Right.
many of you, maybe tomorrow's challenge is just to go to the mailbox.
Yep.
And maybe the next week, you might just drive down the road and turn around. And every
Man.
little step that you're able to take towards a goal will get you there. And for Amy
Sure.
to be able to kind of start pushing herself and push a little further, hopefully, we, like I said, we share our stories and talk about this, but really, hopefully, someone can sit back and say, well, crap, if Amy was able to do it and push through some anxiety, then maybe I can try to also, take that extra step and push myself. Well, no matter what it may be. I'm not saying jump on a flight tomorrow, but I'm saying maybe tomorrow go to the Starbucks and then drive back, or get out of your house and do something, because of the fact that we have the ability to take baby steps. So I really just wanted to kind of hone on that, because I think it's a great example for, one, Amy sharing that of herself, and hopefully it's encouraging to someone else. Because all jokes aside, how did you feel getting on the aircraft?
So this is the thing. It's twofold. So I will tell you, just this is how scared I was. I am not kidding you. Before I left, the night before I left, I went into my son's room. I'm going to try not to cry when I tell this story. I went into my son's room and I told him where everything was. And I told him I'm changing my life. I needed to make some. I have 3 kids. So he's 18. And then I have 11, almost 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. And so I told him, I said, I'm going to change. I need to change. So the whole thing with life insurance is they have to be 18 to collect it. So I had talked to the life insurance company and I said, how does this work if I have one that's 18 and 2 that are younger? So they explained it. So keep in mind, I did this before I flew. Like, this is how scared I am to fly. I'm being totally serious. So I printed it off and it was on my to-do list. And part of me was like, I didn't want to do it because I felt like I was being overly dramatic and paranoid. But then part of me was like, also like, I have to do it. I have to do it. And it was kind of some self-talk, And so I printed it off and I brought it with me. And so it's in my bag right now. I didn't finish filling it out because I was running late, but also it was part of me just felt better. Like, okay, let me have it with me. I can do it. I can take a picture and I can send it. But that's how scared I am to fly. Like, I'm terrified of flying. But going back to mental health and having some issues with things that I've gone through in the past, I think that when you meet people, so I'm divorced and I've been divorced, separated since November of 2016. I'm a very stubborn person. Many people don't know that about me, but I'm a very stubborn person. And so it takes a lot for me to go outside of my comfort zone. So I think some of it was having Josh there because he's not pushy, but he also isn't a veteran, but he wants to try to understand what I'm going through, which is very difficult to find even in a partner with
Wow.
somebody that is a veteran, is that he actually is like listening to understand, not listening to respond. And he wants to kind of talk me through it, but not in a belittling way. And so it gives me a little bit of encouragement because I don't leave the house. And he does. He likes to leave the house. And so we've had our little like I've had my things where I tell him all the time, I think this is a sign, I think this is a sign, and he's really good at just listening and kind of trying to turn it, but not too much, because if it's too much, I'm done. I'm out and I won't do it, and I'll shut off real quick. And so if I'm pushed too much, or if he was pushing me too much, but he said like, hey, if we get there and you decide that, you know, we don't get on the plane, then we'll just hang out in Denver. And so for me, it was like, I think knowing that I had his support either way. Of course, I wanted to do it because I wanted us to have the trip together, and I know that he was looking forward to it. But I think really being able to support who you're with is key. And I think I've learned that a lot in the last couple of months, is that sometimes it's not what's said, but it's what's not said. And just knowing and feeling that you have that support. And it goes both ways, but somebody that's willing to kind of understand and listen to you and really get to know you and understand your why. Now, arguably, is he ever going to understand it? I don't know, but at least he's trying to, and he's willing to kind of ride that wave with me, I guess. So I think that that has a lot to do with me being able to actually get on the plane and go. And I think I did pretty good. Like, for the most part, I think I did pretty good. Like, his arms might say something different. I might have scratched him a couple times holding on to him. But I think, you know, I actually didn't sleep. I told him I was going to sleep. I took my anxiety medicine and I actually didn't sleep. So, you know, baby steps. But neither here nor there. I'm here. I have to get back on Sunday. So as soon as I touched down on last night, I was like, okay, now I have to gear up for Sunday. But it was good. But going back to, you know, just the whole process, and you know, I appreciate you holding space with us. It's been great to meet you. I've seen you on some of the lives, and of course listen to your music. And I'm a huge fan of Pinky Promise. It's an amazing song. There's so much truth to that song. It's just very emotional and very touching. And I think it can truly be something to think about on a regular basis, like when you have your kids, really kind of having that. So, you know, again, I would go back to what I always say is checking on your strong friends, those friends that aren't ones to reach out. Oh, thank you, D Wade. Yes, absolutely. And the heaviest thing to pick up is a phone. So check on your small friends, your big friends. And yeah. So
and I think that goes to some of the things we've talked about for those that are not military, right? How do you support a veteran? Because the fact is, there's someone out there who really has love for a veteran who is dealing with trauma, drama, all the things, pains, hurts, past, etc., and being able to give them space, right? And I love the fact that in your case, Amy, you have that moment to share, which we've talked about it before. But it's like, hey, if we get to the airport and you just, you know, you can't make it, we'll turn around. And if we get to Denver and you don't want to take the rest of the ride, we'll just stay here. And just understanding and giving, I guess, you know, honor and respect to the boundaries of someone who may be hurting. They want to come out, but giving them respect to say that, hey, I'm here. One thing, Steven, that we talk about a lot is, in the Army specifically, is jumping into a foxhole with someone, into a dark place. For those that have hurt, for those that have come out of pain, right? I'm not better than the next person, but I know what that dark pit looks like. And sometimes, you know, if Brian is in a dark place, I just sit with him. And sometimes, to Amy's point, it's what you don't say, right? I'm just sitting here with you. I'm not going to patronize you. I'm not going to say, hey, you know, you got a lot to look forward to and all these cliche things. I'm just going to say, hey, I'm with you here. And when you're ready to ask or you're ready to talk, you may one day say, hey, you know, like, I'm here in this dark place and Steven sits with me. And I say, Steven, how did you get out of this? How did you get out of this rut? And the minute I can ask that question, now I've given you permission to begin to pour into my life that truth. Because sometimes I might not be ready. I get it, Stephen. You love me. You want to speak truth into me. You want to be there for me. But respect that I'm not there yet. And I think that's something that many people sometimes miss because you want to help so much. Amy, I want to get you on a plane and I want to get you to get over that stuff and be strong because you can do it. Let me just try to get to the doors of the airport. That's the goal today. And maybe a little bit further, and respecting that boundary with someone who has experienced hurt, because you know what happens, right? In Amy's case, I would venture to say, and many of us, it's like, okay, I'm in the airport. The world hasn't stopped, and I'm still here. Okay, I'm in the airplane. Everything's still okay. I'm still here. Oh crap, we're taking off. Wait, I'm still here. And little by little, right, you're almost kind of like, it's like the toe goes in, the foot goes in, and before you know it, you're full blown in the jacuzzi like, well, I guess the water's fine. But it takes time for someone to be able to work through that, and respecting that if they say, hey, this is my boundary, then hey, let's mark it. We'll come back to it. And in a relationship, that's something that has to be respected for boundaries emotionally for someone who may have experienced trauma in a variety of different ways. So that's the reason I really wanted to, focus on that, because we can use Amy's example today for someone as a lesson. And that's always what it is. It's always something to be able to learn. Stephen, you woke up and you said that, for example, today, how you start your morning, how you do things. I want to be able to bless you because there's something I think you didn't get a chance to get. So I want to give that to you here. Brian here, but there's someone that we always got to bring up in the show. This is Baby Brian. It'll make sense here in a second. Brian and Baby Brian, you'll see his shoulder. Brian served. He has a service connection for his shoulder. He can't lift it too much, but people always ask, where did he get the rhythm from? I'm going to say he's always had that one shoulder that popped a little higher than the others. So in theme of TGIF, we have a musical guest, but we have to give due and give Baby Brian a little bit of time, because guess what? It's Friday. We're still here. We're having a good time. And guess what? Sometimes you got to let go. Give it to them, Brian.
Just another sunny day.
It's that same shoulder every single time.
It's the same.
It's where the people came to
I
play.
try not to overwhelm everybody with too much at one time. I was thinking about America's Got Talent auditioning, but sometimes the competition just isn't there.
But if you notice, it's the movement. It's never changed. All the way from Baby Brian to older Brian. That's where the rhythm came from.
Oh my gosh, look at that little guy.
Hey, it's Friday. We are here, and if Baby Brian don't come out, it is not a good day. But it's always late, so we can't keep Baby Brian out too long. But that's some context. Because he comes out, he pops in every so often just to lift the spirits a little bit. He heard some music going on, so he was like, he had to get a little dancing before Steven picked up the machine again. But Steven, back to you on your side. There's another, if you would like to, work out another little diddly, maybe. I don't know if you feel to give the people a little something, because Lisa's in the comment section having a great old time. Baby Brian just opened up her appetite for some music.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I tell you what, I'll play a song that I wrote called What Keeps You Going? Because I think that for us, we all need, what is it that keeps us going? What charges us up? For some people, it's different things, right? We were talking about it, but I wanted to write a song where I wanted to share with the world the things that keep me going, and maybe that it's relatable to some people. So I'll play that for you. It's not recorded. It's a brand new song, but I think you guys will enjoy it. Here's What Keeps You Going. Is it a verse in Proverbs? A dark morning roast? Is it the yes you get when all you've been getting is 100 no's? Is it an up with the sun, 3-mile run? pushing it to the end. That gives you the strength every day to get up and do it all again. What keeps you going? Yeah, what keeps you going? Are they 12 and 9 looking up to you? Is it the knockdown 7 stand-up 8 forearm tattoo? What keeps you going? What's driving you? Is it knowing what's your truth? What keeps you showing up when it's all crashing down on you? Is it loving? Is it believing? Is it praying? Is it hoping? What keeps you going? Is it a few more zeros in the bank account? Is it a little more than you need, or just the right amount? Is it the faith? Is it the gasoline? Is it putting everything on a credit card when you're trying to make ends meet? What keeps you going? What's driving you? Is it knowing what's your truth? What keeps you showing up when it's all crashing down on you? Is it loving? Is it believing? Yeah, is it praying? Is it hoping? What keeps you going? Is it the promise that you made to the bride in the picture frame when her dad gave you her hand and you gave her your name? What keeps you going? Yeah, what keeps you going? What's driving you? Is it knowing what's your truth? What keeps you showing up when it's all crashing down on you? Is it loving? Is it believing? Yeah, is it praying? Is it hoping? What keeps you going? That's it, man. I gotta get me one of those.
No, I love it. Brian, over to you. I'm going to pull up something here to show as well in a second. So a quick fun fact before Brian goes, I'll tell you, Brian might actually spin the digital tracks of your music so many times. If you should ever get an email from YouTube or Amazon or iTunes that says there's someone out there playing this music to the point where they're running out the digital vinyl, that might be Brian.
Yes.
Hashtag facts. You know, the reality is that the whole digital cassette, you're just going to keep spinning through. So, you know, I don't try to do the that just ruins the record. But you know, yeah, I'd like to play on repeat.
Yeah. And we do too. We like that.
It helps keeps the light on.
It does.
See, I'm just doing what I can to support you, man. I'm going to do more than just stick that thumb up.
Come on.
Hey, it's little things that go quite a long way. I want to bring up here for those as well to be able to find and support you specifically. Let me cue it up here. The YouTube channel that you have over at Steven Cade. I want folks to be able to also go there and find what you have here. So Steven Cade is where you'll find the amazing music that he has. Let me know if the sound comes through here, but I want to be able to share this with the people. I would like to also, as usual, which is kind of like a thing we have now, which is funny. Steven, if you don't mind, I'd like to play this little song here, What I Really Want to Say, official music video. I think it would be good for the peoples who may have not been blessed by it. Concurrence from Steven, we are rolling. Brian, give me a thumbs up. Just make sure that audio works on your side too.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
Love's been burning a hole in my pocket, and I can't wait to spend it on you. There's no steel, there's no stone that can stop it. It's just gravity breaking through. Oh, I could get used to this losing my balance like I do when you're in the room. It feels like I'm falling, don't make any sense, but you have that effect on me. What I really wanna say is I'm crazy about you. No, I don't wanna find a way to go through this life without you. I can't breathe, I can't sleep, I can't close my eyes and dream another minute till I tell you what I really wanna say. Oh, I might have to try to make mountains fly and tell you how I feel today. When I open my mouth, let the words fall out, no more moments get in the way. Caught up in your smile, I lose track of time, but you have that effect on me. What I really wanna say is I'm crazy about you. No, I don't wanna find a way to go through this life without you. I can't breathe, I can't sleep, I can't close my eyes and dream another minute till I tell you what I really wanna say. Well, the only thing I'm afraid of is letting this slip away, love. Well, that's all gonna change tonight. What I really wanna say is I'm crazy about you. No, I don't wanna find a way to go through this life without you. I can't breathe, I can't sleep, I can't close my eyes and dream another minute till I tell you what I really wanna say. Oh, I don't wanna let it slip away, baby. That's what I really wanna say.
Wow. Man.
Wow, indeed.
Yes.
Again, for those that may have not seen it, have to give you the full production because you're hearing it live. But to see the videos again, there's so many out there. But again, Steven Cade, he's on YouTube, as you can see. Wanted to share that. That is an amazing, amazing music video. We got some comments here coming in. Lisa saying, "I love watching. I love watching Steven watch this. The pride and emotion is so awesome. That's why we love you and your music, darling." And again, it's just one of those things where it's your music, but even seeing you see your music, right? Like we're vibing, we feel it, but it still even touches you, which again goes back to the point where what I love about having this type of conversation is it's easy to say, oh, Steven Cade has great music, go check him out. Like, no, get to know the person, hear his words. So now when you listen to the music, it just sounds richer. It has more bass, it has more treble, it has more meaning because now I understand where you're coming from. So when I hear your music and I hear the words, it resounds. And I think that's captured in Lisa's point. Roger is saying sounds super. We got a bunch of emojis here from Lisa. Frank is saying add me to that list. I pretty much can't get enough of it on Amazon Music. one question for you, Steven, from Lisa is, when will you release the last song you played live? Is there a release date on it? Because obviously folks are enjoying and vibing to what you are sharing.
Thank you. I hope soon. That's all I can tell you. The sooner the better. I'm obviously trying to raise enough capital to record more music, and that's always sort of the challenge. So hey, like David was saying, go to my website, buy some merchandise. Feel free to tip me, Venmo. All that money goes right back in. I'm a full believer in turning around and reinvesting in my products. So that's what I do. Yeah, and obviously, basically blessing people with that. So thank you for saying that.
So let's take a quick look at it. So over here at stevencade.com, you'll find music videos, CD, how to connect, information. But one of the biggest things I want to show as well here, to this point, you have the store where you're able to see some of the merchandise that he has, videos, was on tour, a little background information as well, to include a tip jar. So if you want to represent and you want to get the merchandise, one of the things I've always said is, if I go to anyone's house right now, I will find all kinds of name brands. And the fact is, if you support one name brand or another name brand, guess what? You can rock, some Veterans Network gear, hat, shirt included with a mug. But I can also go to Steven Cade's side of the house and get some merch and support what he is doing. Because again, it's being able to really support folks and see what, how this works, right? I love the music you just sang, the song you sang, but to get it out there in people's hands, you need to raise capital. Hint, hint. The store here is a place to go. And also, I like the fact that you even have a tip jar, because there are some individuals who may just want to donate. They might want to pay it forward and say, I want to contribute to what you're doing. So having a tip jar here, I think it's amazing. If you come over to the About page, you'll also be able to find a little more information. Again, people learn different ways. Maybe you want to sit down and read a little more about him, get some more information about what he is doing, to include a variety of other things, how to get in contact. And to the top right, you'll see all the social media platforms that he is on. So really, really head on over to Steven Cade. Go ahead and get a free download when you come for his newsletter as well. But great information. Steven, is there anything on this site, before we go back to you here, that you would like me to highlight for folks here on your website that I may have missed?
Yeah, right when you get on there, you can get a free download. You can sign up for the newsletter, basically. And then obviously, the merch page is great to go check out. All the shows are a big deal. My shows on tour page, where it shows where I'm performing, you can you can see all the different shows that I have upcoming. I'll be in, I don't think my wife basically books all my shows, which I gotta, give her kudos. But we don't have Alabama on there yet, I don't think, unless I don't see it. But I'm going to be in Alabama, Texas, Kentucky, and California. And so, but that's just now. So if anybody wants to have a house party, backyard celebration, hey, I'll play at your quinceañera, whatever it is. Okay.
Hello. Hello.
But I would definitely love to be a part of any music celebration you guys want to have for corporate functions. I'm here. I'm for hire.
And one of the points here I want to say that Lisa brought up, Chase, sir, was the merch is so awesome, Steven. I want to also share this page here, the contact tab, to what Steven just said. To be able to book him, there is the email, there is the text number. You can fill out the information, be able to reach out and communicate. So again, yourself, reach out, support via tip jar, via the merchandise store, or even if you know someone who may be looking to book someone like Steven, book Steven directly, share the information. Maybe, again, I'm not going to be having an event, but for example, I know Brian is having a corporate event. Hey, check out this live we did with this amazing artist called Steven Cade. If you like him, this is where you can find him, and that's literally doesn't cost a penny to just say, hey, take a look at this artist. And you never know, that one connection can make a difference of putting the right individual in front of the right individual. Preparation, meeting opportunity, and time is a real thing. So I definitely wanted to highlight the connection piece. Steven, I saw you pull up the guitar over there, man. You're getting a little inspired. What's in your hands right now, brother? What you got in your hands? I saw you pick up the guitar.
Man, I always have a guitar here, man. I mean, it's right. You know, it doesn't go far from where I sit. I mean, tomorrow I'll be at the Andrew Jackson Hermitage. There's a winery there.
Yes.
So I'll be playing there. In the morning, I'm going to be doing a recording for a kind of like it's sort of like an backstage look at artists in Nashville. So I'm going to be recording that, and it'll be released probably later in May or something. But and then on Sunday morning, I'll be worshiping the Lord. I'll be singing worship for a church in Mount Juliet. But
Oh, wow.
always just performing, you know, trying to keep the fingers moving and keep the songs flowing. And you know what? I tell you what, and I would be blessed if as we're coming now, it sounds like we're coming in for a landing here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if we can maybe bring Eric Ranks up. That would be awesome if there's room for him.
Yeah.
He's been a super huge supporter, and he's getting ready to do an event now. I think you guys tied into that event at all?
Yeah, so we're going to be supporting on the Veteran Network side. So our
Great.
team is getting behind supporting as well. So we're making some
Super.
connections as well. For sure.
Great. I love that. More, you guys, we got to get around. What I'd love to do, David, is I'd love to talk with you guys offline too about taking this around the country, honestly. Taking the veteran connections and the veteran network, and let's get out and raise every city in every town in America for gratuity, as they like to put in contracts.
Yes.
And so that's something we should seriously, you know, talk. We'll get a couple of big Prevosts, put Veterans Network on the side, and we'll go.
No, yeah. Hey, we have some. Yeah, we have a lot of talking to do offline to catch up because we definitely we're in that same vibe, and it's funny because all the frequencies are aligning. So this is the conversation we're having with the likes of the Marine Rapper and his crew. So there's a lot of things that we have planning. So
great.
You're with us.
Those tour buses have outlets for, you know, that I can plug my CPAP machine in.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
I'm sorry. It's a consideration for my neighbors. That's all.
Right. This is a song that I wrote because I feel like it's going to be one of these songs that speak to. I didn't play Better Me yet, did I? No way.
No.
There's no way I played that tonight.
Not yet.
But I think it's like every day I feel like I'm just trying to one up myself in a good way, not trying to, you know, be somebody I'm not, but at the same time, you know, maybe I need to let somebody in the freeway, or like, you know, let somebody in front of me in line that, you know, only has a couple things, you know, or maybe I got a guy in the corner that needs some help or whatever it is. These little things that we do in life to just make it a better world. This is a song called Better Me. It goes like this. 5 things, that's all you got. Go ahead, brother, take my spot. Might be running late, but I got some grocery lane forward to pay. On my way to a better me. Saw a homeless, can you help me sign? Put $1 in a hand that could have been mine. A few wrong turns ago, back when I didn't know how to be a better me, a better shoulder, a willing heart to pull you closer, a human being human, walking miles in different shoes, and trying to be a better me. Training wheels still on that bike, kite by the front door waiting to fly. Time to spend some time with those who look like my little faces, looking up to see a better me, a better shoulder, a willing heart to pull you closer, walking miles in different shoes and trying to be a better me. Put the kids to bed, pour a glass of red, turn off the TV. The mood tonight, I want you to see a better heart to pull you closer. A human being human, walking in different shoes and trying to be. I'm just trying to be, yeah, a better me. Saw homeless, can you help me sign? Put $1 in a hand that could have been mine.
Love it.
Mr. Eric Ranks.
Oh, hold on. I gotta fix my lighting. Look at this new hat I got today.
That is a nice hat you got there, brother.
That is
It is.
sweet.
I love it.
So tell us a little bit about the Sending Love to Veterans that we have coming up. I think it's a good segue here for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, May 14th and 15th, we're doing an event called Sending Love to Vets, which is focused on military veterans suffering from mental health challenges such as PTSD, anxiety, which we talked about in this conversation with Amy, depression, veterans at risk for suicide. There's just a lot of things that veterans face every single day with mental health, and those challenges don't go away. People learn how to cope and deal with them. We talked a lot about that when Elliot was on here, talking about his therapy session CD, but those challenges don't go away. And so we're raising funds to do a couple of things. One, we're expanding in some new programs, being able to offer PTSD service dogs to vets, as well as some equine therapy for military couples that are going through some relationship struggles. And so this event is to really allow us to expand and offer more services to our military community and really support them. So we're going to have, it looks like about 22 artists, Steven Cade being one of the biggest supporters and part of that. We also are going to have Elliot, which I think he's here in the audience participating. He's going to be part of this. The Marine Rapper, which you guys have heard on here. We're going to get some videos, not live, but videos done by Dave Bray. He's tied up that weekend, but he's going to participate where he can as well. So a lot of these artists that you guys have seen on here are involved with this event as well, which is amazing. We have some comedians. One of them, Joe, which you guys had on here when you did the silent auction for Maria's organization. So he's going to do some comedy. So it's going to be a really amazing event. So it's going to be YouTube, Facebook Live. To watch the live on video, it is going to require a donation. There's no dollar amount. So even donating $1 would still let you watch it. And then in Clubhouse, you can listen to it for free. Anyway, people can come out and support, whether that's just listening, whether that's making a donation, whether that's just sharing it with your friends. We have some graphics that are being worked on that'll come out very shortly that people can share on social media. And so any support, we just much appreciate it.
No, I love that. And again, for folks that, we actually recorded a few days ago, so that's coming out. But Eric Ranks is behind the veteransconnection.org. For those, we obviously, him, we're always talking in the chat section and so forth, but making a jump over for folks to be able to kind of support and be able to get behind the work that Eric is doing on his side, specifically, again, at the veteransconnection.org. You'll be able to get behind, support, donate to help fuel some of these different projects that are taking place, helping veterans through a variety of modalities and different things. So this is a great project, being able to do this. We did it for Sending Love to Texas, and now kind of doing it for veterans as well. So really, this is what it's all about. It's about bringing people together to do some amazing things as we kind of come together and serve. Really, that's what it's all about, service.
Yeah, and while you have this up right here, so one, the URL for the event is sendinglovetovets.com. But while you have this up, the piece that you have showing right here, where it talks about the 22 suicides every 90 minutes, those type of figures, that's actually increased. So that was prior to 2020. Now the average suicide per day is between 27 and 35 per day. So I wanted to bring that up because you're showing the 22 that a lot of people are familiar with, especially with around the push-ups and the awareness that the community does. But it's actually gone way up, and so it's definitely something that, like, it can't be taught. Like, action has to be taken to make a difference, and so it's really important.
No, I love it. And again, Stephen, even for you to be able to get behind and support and be part of, these initiatives, I think just speaks volume again to the heart of service of being able to pay it forward and really do some amazing things. Let me bring it up here. So it's sending love to veterans, correct?
Just sending love to vets, just VETS.
Okay.
But it's going to take it to the donation page at this page right now. We're having a landing page created, but it will go somewhere. Go to the donation page. But yeah, sendinglovetovets.com.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and, like I said, this is going to be where you'll find a donation to be able to support and get behind what's going on there. But this is what we need, right? We need to be able to rally folks, bring them together, and kind of get behind, efforts like this, because it'll make all of the difference for sure. As we usually start wrapping up, I don't want to take too much time. Stephen kind of, will take you into a whole rabbit hole, really. But there's a lot of amazing things, that are taking place. Before you go, though, I have here one last song that I need to try to share with the people. On My Way to You. Again, another powerful one that I wanted to just share with the audience, if you wouldn't mind, before we begin to kind of button it up and, release folks to the rest of their evening. Another powerful message, powerful imagery, powerful video that we'd love to share, if you all would like.
That'd be great.
I would love it.
Yes.
I love music.
I can't buy back all the time that it took to realize all that I had, right, wrong, good, bads, heartbreaks and goodbyes. Two stars aligned and it felt just like I've known you my whole life. I've been through the she's so perfect that wasn't worth it to all just wasted time. I live the she's so close, had to let her go cause it never really felt just right. That's what I had to go through on my way to you. Just flying by all those billboard signs, standing in between the turquoise blue and your green eyes that change just like a mood ring. I can feel your touch if I drive fast enough. I'm almost there, hold tight. I've been through the she's so perfect that wasn't worth it to all just wasted time. I live the she's so close, I had to let her go cause it never really felt just right. That's what I had to go through on my way to you. Yeah, it took a little bit, but I've been through it. Been through the she's so perfect that wasn't worth it to all just wasted time. I live the she's so close to had to let her go cause it never really felt just right. Been through the she's perfect that it wasn't worth it to all just wasted time. I lived the she's so close, had to let her go, cause it never really felt just right. But that's what I had to go through on my way to you. On my way to you.
Steven Cade
Come on,
on
man.
YouTube, StevenCade.com. Come on now, there's not much more that I can add to that. But if you're not following, if you're not looking for it, definitely that goes that way.
That is funny. Oh my
Amazing.
gosh.
Steven, as usually when we start kind of wrapping up, one of the things that we like to do is kind of go around, and I like to kind of start with you. If there's something you'd like to say or kind of leave thought-wise for those that may be out there, people are going through different things. We talked about it in the beginning, right? People are hurting. People are dealing with a lot of things, regardless of where you sit, where you believe in. There's division in the world. People are divided. Neighbors, are estranged. Families are estranged. Veterans are hurting. Civilians are hurting. It's just a tough time, regardless of where you sit in your personal views towards the world. What would you want to put out there for those that may be watching this live or on the replay as your message, for this evening?
Well, I'd like to, I've rarely ever done like something like this, but I'd like to just pray for those folks right here, the 18 people watching. I'd like to just pray a blessing over them. So, Lord, just thank you, Lord, for just the opportunity to be on with David, Amy, Eric, and Brian. And Lord, I just thank you for all of the wonderful comments and everybody who got to participate tonight. I just pray a special blessing over them, that Lord, that you keep them, and that your face shines upon them, Lord, and that you hold them in the palm of your hand, Lord. And even in those quiet times at night that David was talking about, that Lord, that your Holy Spirit just fills the presence of their room, just fills it up, Lord, and that your angels are encamped around them, Lord, and let them know that, Father, you are the creator of all things, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, and that nobody, Lord, can bring us comfort quite like you can, Heavenly Father. And so, Lord, I just pray for all of the distress or the depression or anything that may be stopping someone from reaching their destiny, the destiny that you have for them, Lord. I pray that you remove those barriers in Jesus' name. I pray that in the name of Jesus and the power of his blood, that people are healed of mental sickness, of things that are holding them back, of anything that any anxieties, Lord, of any PTSD. I ask right now, Jesus, that you remove that, erase it, and throw it as far as in the deepest depths of the ocean, that it can never come back and it can never stop them again. And so, Father, I thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to pray into that. And I'd ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Over to you, Brian.
I appreciate that, Steven. Absolutely. And on top of, or in addition to that, or secondary to that, because you can't top that that call out, that prayer. But it's great to have these Friday Night Lives. It's great to have the community of those that we can fellowship with, if you will, that we can share this time together. People of maybe similar experiences, people that are dealing with similar struggles, and just knowing that you can be around people that are here to support you and encourage you, who can understand what it's like maybe to walk in your shoes to some extent. That there's a lot of value in that, because one of the challenges for veterans is right, wrong, or indifferent, is a feeling of isolation from the rest of their family, because the rest of the family are civilians, and they just, unfortunately, they just can't quite have a full understanding, and it's difficult for that, for those barriers to be brought down and shared. So I think it's that daily walk, it's that daily struggle to be a little better every day, to rely on God's strength and Christ's love and sacrifice, and for those of us who believe in Christ, and but caring for our fellow man, caring for our neighbors, caring for each other is always a good starting point. So appreciate the opportunity for you to have your voice here, Steven, and share your art and music. Thankful for Eric and his support of you as always. Eric's a very supportive guy, like his motivation there. So yeah, just glad to be here with you guys tonight.
Yeah. Amy, over on your side, madam.
Thank you, Steven. It's been great. I'm a huge fan of your music, obviously. Thank you to all the vets that are just hanging out with us and holding space with us. This has been a great night, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Roger from the audience saying, Stephen, thanks for praying for us. He says, I know I needed it. Lisa in the audience saying, you're amazing, and as well with the whole crew, to be able to have this moment. Caleb sharing as well, for those that are out there who are in Clubhouse, to please tune in and join Thursday evenings at 8:30 Central Standard Time in Clubhouse to enjoy some live Nashville Songwriters Club music, and hear more of Steven's latest music. So if you go into Clubhouse, make sure you're following Steven and Eric and the crew and Caleb Rosales as well. You'll be able to find the club, the room where they're able to hold that space as well, that they hold on Thursday evenings at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Roger also added a point to say, especially during this time where many folks are having isolation because of COVID and the pandemic, being able to even have some virtual space like this, and holding space and being able to create a safe place to where we can cry, you can heal, you can laugh, you can share a joke. Really, it's all by design. That's why we kind of call it what we call it, right? It's Friday Night Live. It's a variety of different things. And really, it's all made to say, hey, you could be anywhere, but you don't have to be alone. And if you can spend some time with us, and you can spend some time in Clubhouse, or you spend some time in the spaces that we hold, following Steven, for example, he goes live on his Instagram. Follow him there. He does live IGs. He pulls out his weapon of love and spreads it and plays a guitar and literally blesses people on his IG live. And being able to bring him on here to see and share that, which you all saw here, he does this all the time. He goes live on his IG and he just, shares his ministry. He shares his music. He shares his art. So if you love what he is doing, again, one, follow him, but understand to be able to support our own community means we have to support, and give business to those in our community. And today, hopefully, we share different ways to do that, but in a way that's genuine. I'm always big on saying, if you really love what Steven is doing and you support his mission and you resound with his music and his message, then support it. Don't just, just to placate and say, follow, like, and buy. Like, no, if it really touched you and it meant something to you, then let's support those that are serving. And Steven is definitely a humble leader. He's a servant, using his art to serve others, and it's incumbent on us to be able to be the tools to make sure he can continue to do the things that he's doing, because there's so much more to come for sure. We got Frank in the audience as well, from Crayons Ready to Eat, sharing another great FNL. I'm glad to be here each and every Friday with you all. Much love. We have my brother from another mother, We got Jerry. Special thanks to Steven, in addition to the regular dedicated crew. Thanks so much. It means a lot to me. And again, those are the things that you just don't know. I'll share a quick story. A few weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, right? I think it was Amy or Brian, where Jerry couldn't make it. And I'm sharing this because Jerry sent me a text message and he said, "Hey, DP, I can't make it tonight." And it hit me because really, and I shared it with the team, and I had not shared this, live as of yet with the crew, but we're doing something when someone can say, "Hey, I can't make it tonight, but I'll be there next week." And that goes to the point of saying we're holding space, because what Jerry was able to express is what hopefully others have the feeling but not the words to say, right? And that's why we show up, and that's why we hold space and take time to do this, because if we can do these different type of activities and share the recorded videos and all the other projects that we do, but specifically this, just to give someone the hope to say, it may have been a crazy week, but we're here. And this week coming up, it may be crazy, but guess what? Next Friday, we want to see you here. Tune in, jump in, even for a little bit, say hi. We want to say hello to you. We want to fellowship with you all and hold space, because that's really, to the isolation point, what matters, where it's saying, "Hey, I'm going to look for you." Because Jerry knows I would ask a question and be like, "Hey, where's Jerry? I don't see him." Or, "Where's so-and-so? I don't see you," because we want to build that digital community despite our geographic limitations. We have David St. Romain saying, "I love this." Hey, David. We have Jesse saying, "Steven, you have an amazing voice. God bless you." So some comments coming there. Eric, over to you for some thoughts.
Wow. Steven, thank you for the prayer. One thing I want to say, David, Amy, and Brian, for allowing a spiritual conversation to be had. We did had some of that when Dave Bray was on. We had a lot of that tonight. Very much appreciate that you guys are like honor that. Like, some people are scared to talk religion, and the fact that you guys are true to who you are and allow that type of conversation, like that means a whole lot. So I want to thank you guys. I do want to do a plug for them on Clubhouse. There's the Veteran Network on Clubhouse. I host a room. Frank hosts a room. A lot of other rooms are going on during that time. Like if you're a veteran and you're feeling alone, like if you're on an iPhone, unfortunately, not to beat the horse, but it doesn't work on Android. But if you're on an iPhone and you're feeling alone, jump onto Clubhouse, look for the Veteran Network. There's other brothers and sisters in arms there that are wanting to lift you up and support you. So don't feel alone. Reach out to me. I'm usually found on all social platforms, and my email address is on theveteransconnection.org. Like we really want to be here to love and support each other. And so please don't feel you're alone. Like the biggest thing, suicide is what really drives me. I mean, we focus on health, but suicide really drives me. And I'm so far past the whole 22 push-up awareness. Like action has to happen. I would rather people focus on reaching out to 22 people versus doing 22 push-ups. Like it literally just takes someone reaching out and understanding that they don't have to be alone and that someone cares about them. So, those are things I have in my heart is wow. This conversation actually gets me emotional. Sorry. Yeah, we don't need to lose a single other one, like man or woman. They've done so much for each and one of us, for our freedoms, for life as we have it. And the fact that they come home after having so close-knit community in the veteran community, and then they feel isolated and alone is not acceptable. So, sorry.
Well, I appreciate the support from everybody, both fellow veterans and non-veterans. it doesn't matter where the support's coming from. The fact that there's that attention to the serious epidemic that's going on, the fact that it's still to this day, I'm quite certain, I'm not standing at the gates of the local base to see what the, what the newly minted vets are dealing with as they throw their duffel bag in the trash as they walk out the door, like so many of us did. But the reality is it's still there. And to your point, it's, apparently possibly even getting worse. So it's just something that we just have to keep the attention to.
And what I would say is, there's a reason, like we said earlier, that we have the conversations we have the way we have the conversations, because I think what ends up happening oftentimes is we lose the heart of understanding what's actually happening. So even being able to understand and see Steven for who he is, hearing Eric and his message, part of it is like, no, people need to see that. People need to see the extremes of the emotions of what we're dealing with, because it's more than just keyboard. It's when we're saying, hey, these are the things that are being put together. It just makes more sense now when someone wants to get behind and donate, because we could say all day, hey, plug this, plug that, or whatever, but no, you see the passion, you understand why, you go out of your way to create space and put together this roster of musicians to send love. So, I think it's just, that's why sometimes you have to let things breathe and just let the space hold. And I think for many of us, being able to, especially as men, to embrace emotion, right? To kind of get to a place
I
of
hate it.
letting go, and not worrying, to saying, hey, we have to let go of this concept that we don't feel, because, to your point, Eric, one, I commend your bravery, one, for being here, for speaking your heart, for being a brother, and in what we do here, but even showing your emotion, because again, for many, it speaks volumes as to what is happening, so that when you now go to the website or you go to support and you jump into these rooms, you start to see, like, I see the passion behind it. And I think that's what I love about what we do here. It's, I now understand Steven better, so his music resounds more. And I support him because of that. I now understand Eric better, so now his message resounds with me. So when we're seeing him chatting in the chats, or he's in the audience and he plugs a link, or we talk about things, okay, I'm behind that. I'm supporting that, because I believe that we can have an empire built of what, to quote Gary Vaynerchuk, a honey empire. We don't have to destroy each other to build. And I said this before, I have a swag shop. Eric has a merchandise store. Steven has a merchandise store. You can literally support all three of us.
Yeah.
You can support our community. There's one grocery store on one block and there's another grocery store over there, and we frequent all of them. So there's no fear of, I can't support Steven Cade because I'm supporting. No, you could rock this hat today and switch to the Steven Cade hat tomorrow. It doesn't matter. We have the ability to understand that high tides rise all boats. And we have the ability to build empires to where Veteran Network can be a beacon to, bring people together and connect. And today, I know someone did not know Steven Cade, but they're going to walk away now with understanding of not just the music, but the person, the message. And to your point, Eric, being able to talk about the hard subjects is what we've talked about for mental health, but understanding that for some, it's not just seeing a therapist, it may be church. It may be your faith. And if those are the things that you need to hear, we have to create space for everyone to be inclusive. Because if I can speak to someone of the faith and I can speak to someone who may have lost the faith or doesn't believe in that, it doesn't matter. We can still meet and have conversations and be able to say, what's, like we said earlier, like Steven, personally, right? Someone may say, I don't necessarily wake up the way you do, but I hold gratitude. And I think about my family, and I try to put love out there. And really, there's something you said that I want to try to adopt it. And I think if we can come to a place of just accepting and loving and understanding that, hey, we're still here. that speaks volumes to what we do. So that's why we do what we do. We hold the space we hold. We have the hard conversations we have to have, and we have the loving conversations we need to have. And if you're someone that believes this or you believe that, it does not matter, because love trumps all of it. If you are a man of the faith, it's about love. If you don't believe in the faith, you still are in love. At the end of the day, love is the thing that connects us all. And if we have the ability to hold that space, I think that's healing there. And I truly believe, Stephen, in my closing thoughts, I would say that, you coming on here, praying, and being able to share your music and your ministry, I know someone's healed. I know someone has received healing. I know you've blessed someone. I know you've spoken into someone's life. And some of the messages that we've been getting through the chats, and those that, again, are going to see this on the replay, hopefully it touches them. So if you were blessed by tonight's episode, share it with someone who may need that, who may need to hear this again, who may need to rewind and take the message of Amy getting on the aircraft, who may need to hear the message of Steven Cade daily having to kind of reground himself and find the faith and so forth. So all of this is meant to be able to hopefully uplift, help, and shine a little bit of light, because I think that's the only way it works. And our lights are not dimmed by sharing it. TMR said a great thing on our interview, which was, if Steven has a candle and he comes over to mine and lights my candle, his candle still is shining with that fire. He does not lose this fire because he's pouring into me. He doesn't. You don't lose by pouring love and positivity into someone's life. And so I would encourage, to Eric's point, let's move from awareness and let's move to action. What we believe here at Veterans Network is that we hold to the 3 C's. We're building community through compassion and quality content. And that's really what it comes down to. Because without empathy and compassion, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You have no community without compassion and empathy. You have no quality content without empathy and compassion. The reason someone's going to go download that video, download that song, buy that album, is because they felt compassion, they felt empathy, they felt truthfulness and realness. And hopefully that's what we can capture and package and sell, and send rather, through the airwaves tonight. So I'm very, very grateful, Stephen, for your time, for your ministry, for your art, and Eric for connecting us, which is powerful.
Yeah, can I say 2 more things?
Mm-hmm.
One, Amy, I don't know if you saw it in the chat, but thank you for your vulnerability tonight and being open. I mean, nothing but love goes out to you. Appreciate the vulnerability. And the second one is, I want to give like a shameless plug. So I've bought a lot of hats. I have tons. In fact, Steven, he'll tell you, as soon as I had access to purchase something from his site, I immediately bought a hat. Like, not only, so forgive the hat head. Not one, I was expecting to have it where it's the, you clip in the straps with the clip. No, it's a nice fitted hat.
Mm-hmm.
The brand, like being able to do the branding with the multicolor and have it come out well, amazing. It came in a logoed merchandise hat box.
Nice.
It came with this amazing thank you card with David there.
And my service dog
a
legend.
little information thanking you.
Jeez.
And there's another organization that all of us love, No Paws Left Behind. It came with a little mini face mask with their organization. First class, like 100% first class. I immediately reached out to David and said, hey, I'm doing stuff with my merchandising store. I'm helping Steven with his merchandising store. Like, connect me with the people who are doing your stuff. I have a call tomorrow with the people doing his merchandising. Yep. So, honestly, first class.
Thank you.
Like, if people are thinking about, oh, should I buy this? Like, first class. Purchase that hat.
And shout out to FG Apparel, Ronis and Bell. They're part of the Veterans Network community as well. Veteran owned, veteran operated. For those that might want to go ahead and support that, head on over to veteransnetwork.club. There you'll find information on our team. You'll see here the crew obviously, because I always think it's great to show it. You'll see my service dog, who's actually knocked out here, so the music definitely kind of had him in a good place. But you'll meet the team, and the biggest thing that you'll love here, Steven, is not my face up here. Rather, go down to our CMO. Our chief morale officer is my service dog Legend. He is actually named after Chris Kyle, Navy SEAL. So he is his namesake is after Chris Kyle, who's renowned for all his accolades in service, the man, the myth, the legend, and that's where his name comes from. So you can see and read a little background on the crew, on the team, and then we have obviously the rest of the team. You'll see them down here. All the amazing individuals. Ronis is part of the crew as well, and kind of what they're doing. But I wanted to show, for those that are asking, if you come onto the website, we actually have two things to share. Our blog section is up with some new articles. We just released Understanding the Complexities of Agent Orange. So for our Vietnam veterans, we do have a blog that just went up, and a primer on Gulf War syndrome as well, to include a variety of other blogs on different topics and those that are contributing. For those that choose to reach out and support us in our swag shop, every shirt that you buy, every hat or hoodie, every shirt, hoodie, or sock that you buy, you will see that one is given as in your name as well to a veteran who's homeless. So all profits for there are going to that. So you buy a shirt goes to a homeless veteran. You buy a sock, a hat goes to a homeless veteran. So that's kind of what happens there. But if you come down to the accessory section, you'll see a variety of different things. Here you'll see the hats that are you're able to order, to include mugs. And then you also have the ability, even if you're not a veteran, you can come up here to the sleeve shop, for example, come over here to where it says U.S. Army Veteran. And at the very bottom, we actually added a new design that says, I support America's veterans. So even for those that want to support and pay it forward, they trained, they served, they conquered. And again, you're showing support to that. So veteransnetwork.club is where you'll find that information to be able to support the efforts that we're doing in that regard. So Eric, thanks for saying that, because like anything else, we kind of always talk about everybody else and do stuff, but then I get kind of hounded of not plugging the website.
No, it's honestly first class. Like, I never get shipments that are first class like this. Like, it meant a lot. I literally immediately reached out to David as soon as I opened the package, and I'm like, this is different than what you get anywhere else.
Thank you. So we appreciate you, Steven, crew. There's not really much more to say. Like I said, it's been a great night. Steven, we appreciate you. This is the first here on the show, but definitely not the last. You're always welcome here. We're always going to be plugging your information anyway, so you don't have a choice. Before you even showed up, we were playing your music.
Yeah. Well, it was a true honor. Thank you so much for having me as your guest, and thank you so much for saying all the wonderful things you did about my music, and I'm truly just blessed. So thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
So as we head up out of here, we are going to release folks back to the rest of their evening as we shut it down. We have some, obviously, comments coming up. People are saying some amazing things. So let's continue the conversation. We also, as always, like to make a point to close out the night and bring up one of our amazing friends.
Good night, guys.
It's where the people came to
Great figure.